What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video.
I rep the West to the death, but my life is better. I've shed blood, shed tears, man, I stormed bad weather. I caught an L at 19, that's a cold ass letter. But now I'm back in the world and trying to make it better forever. They counted me out at a young age, but now I'm living proof. I'm in this booth, I'm spitting truth, you see me on the tube. The Dub Show, homies bounce and roll. The Dub Show.
Today I want to be talking about something. I think I may have spoke about this years ago, right? But with this ex-northern rapper or northern, I don't know what to call him, Big Little Toro. With what's going on with him, what's been going on with him on social media, I wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to highlight why it's so dangerous to have these people around you and why it's such a danger to them once they're housed in the California Department of Corrections. As we see, this dude Lil Toro, now 2 times on social media that was posted, he sucker punched somebody, right? And when he sucker punched these dudes on both occasions, it was due to something going on in his mind. It wasn't based on any type of reality or real interaction. It was his interpretation of the situation. The first one was because the dude stood behind him with the phone and he feels the phones are trying to control minds or his mind, or I don't know. And he took off on that dude, kicked him out of the hotel that they were staying together in. And then this next one, he said the dude owed him money. It's just, look, years and years. I want to say kind of like in the beginning of my channel, I talked about one of the things that the state did that really affected and kind of like messed up a lot of the prison yards in California was a lot of guys that had mental illnesses that will commit crimes. Instead of sending them to state mental facilities, they were just sending them to the state prison. Sending them to the CDC, I've talked about it. I'll always talk about it when I get an opportunity. It's all about money. When you have, so let's say it's $100,000. Let's say it's $100,000 to house one California inmate per year. If the guy has psychological issues, then it's probably about $140,000, $150,000 for those inmates. It's very lucrative. What winds up happening is these guys are on medications. These guys wind up in EOP. They wind up in the PSU, which is the shoe for the JCATs. The JCAT is somebody who's on hot medication. The problem is these dudes will come in, and I can only speak for how the Southerners were doing it. If a JCAT landed and he was on triple CMS status, meaning he's not, he doesn't need to be housed in a psych building. He's on medication, but he's functioning and he winds up in your cell. Those are the guys that when they decide they're cool, they don't need their medication, it can become a problem, right? So you might have a dude who's triple CMS and he winds up on the yard. They put him in a cell with somebody. We would make sure to let the dude know, especially if he was a youngster. Look, Holmes, that vato right there, that guy is a JCAT. He's crazy. So if you feel uncomfortable, if he's doing JCAT shit and you can't let us know, handle your business. Protect yourself. If you do have time to let us know, we'll take care of him on the yard. Now, these are people, again, they don't belong on a prison yard. I know there's going to be people that are watching this are going to say, damn, that's mean or that's messed up. You know, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. When you're in prison, if you're looking for sympathy, the only place you're going to find it is in the dictionary. That's it. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm telling you, you see somebody get hit on the yard, you'll hear somebody say, if you don't hear him say it, you might be saying it in your own head. Better him than me. JCATs coming to the prison yard are an immediate threat to whatever group they're a part of. When you look at the riot that happened, the big riot that everybody knows about, that you can Google or you can watch on YouTube, February 23rd, 2000 in Pelican Bay, B facility. That riot started over a JCAT. A dude that wasn't all there. That guy he lived in the cell directly under me until he got into that exchange of words that created the whole thing. They moved him from A section underneath me to C section. And he was still, I mean, this dude, when you're on a level 4, it's very, very respectful, especially when you're going to be interacting with another race, another group, because your disrespect could cause a war, right? And this dude, knowing he had just gotten into this altercation, he was like, hey, I'm okay with you guys, right? I'm okay with the Mexicans, right? Like, and everybody was like, yeah, you're cool. Because at first nobody knew, and then later that day we knew. But they move him to another section, C section, and like when he needed a porter, guys that, sweep him up the tiers, when he needed one's attention to pass something for him or something, instead of being like waiting till you get by the cell and like, hey, excuse me, he would yell, hey, Mexican. And everybody knew this dude's a JCAT, and we also knew at some point, if the blacks don't deal with them, we may wind up getting into it with them. And then he was walking by in a shop, hearing Southerners talk, and just jumped in their conversation. That ain't how it happened. That he didn't even know the details of what they were talking about. Side busted in the conversation. People started pulling weapons out. The cops hit the button, and then several months later, you guys see what happened. There's been incidents where guys get put in a cell with somebody. They don't know that their celly's a JCAT, and within 24 hours, the JCAT kills the celly. There's been times where dudes would lose their mind, that nothing was ever mentally wrong with them, and then one day it just snaps. They whack their celly. So I wanted to just take this opportunity to give you guys a glimpse at how money hungry the state is. These politicians that okay these type of decisions, to where if he commits a crime, don't put him in a mental institution. Just throw him in the CDC. Just throw him on the yard with those guys. He's a criminal. These dudes don't even know what's going on half the time. If they're really mentally ill and they go into one of their psychosis states or have a psychotic episode, whatever triggered it, they're there. And either they're going to be the victim or the aggressor of their episode. I'm not a fan of Lil Toro. Lil Toro has that case, and that's why a lot of people just don't mess with him. But this is just an opportunity for me to talk about anyone that has mental illness, that may commit a crime. If you have a loved one with mental illness and they're committing crimes, just know the CDC sees them as big money. And they're going to throw them out there on the yard with the big boys. And then whatever happens, happens. The CDC already got their money for that guy for that year. If he lives or dies, they don't give a damn. There's more JCATs on the way. There's more criminals on the way. That's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out of here.